It's been a while. So basically, I took a break because of the holidays. It was my baby girl's first holidays, so I just needed to break away. But I'm back, so welcome. First video is basically all the books I read in December, catching you up on that. And yeah, if you're new here, my name is Caitlin. I go by Catalin, and I am going back blonde officially. It's a hard process from going dark to light, but it's amazing so far. Looks a little brassy, but hey, I can deal with brassy because purple shampoo. Anyways, let's just hop right into the video. So the first book I read is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. I think I don't have the physical copy, but I gave this 4 stars, and the romance in it was really sweet. The guy bought her like a $1 billion painting. It's not literally a billion, but it was an expensive painting. The only problem is, and the only reason I gave it 4 stars was because there was no real conflict. I mean, within the 2 characters. The only conflict I saw was the main character and someone she was related to, or both of her parents. So that's all the problems I have with it. I might continue the series. I don't know yet because of the reason that there wasn't really an issue. The romance was really sweet though. I do recommend you read it if you're getting into reading or if you're in a reading slump, because it is, to me, a short book, a short, sweet read. So yeah. The next book I read was The Stalking Dead, and I did not enjoy this book. I don't recommend it. I gave it 2 stars, and I just felt like it was basically written by someone who writes on Wattpad that's beginning to write. No hate to her. I just tried it out. I didn't like it. It's getting hyped up on TikTok. I don't see the hype, but basically this book is about a girl. She was young. She saw ghosts near the marsh when she was younger. She gets sent off to an insane asylum and comes back for college. Can't see her parents. She doesn't understand why, like what mental breakdown she had, because everybody was saying she was like crazy. Well, this group was in a gang, passed away. Their bodies were dumped in a marsh, and I guess they decided to come back to life by possessing bodies, which was a really cool concept, except my only problems were that the gang mostly acted like a bunch of toddlers when they came back, and like they didn't understand to have about having a conversation with the main character, and it just felt like they just were almost incompetent. Like they couldn't, I don't know how to explain it, but the way they were talking to the main character was like they were a bunch of little kids. Like I guess you would say golden retrievers, which is like good boys or something like that. But I don't know. It just wasn't my style. I don't recommend. I'm not going to continue the series, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Next book I have is Bittersweet Memories, and I gave this 5 stars. I ate this and left no crumbs. I read this book in literally one day, like 2 hours tops. And it was the sweetest, like it's up there, one of my favorite romance books. So it was my first book I read at Second Chance Romance, and it was the first book to actually make me cry. I cried. So basically, I'm going to tell you about the book because I loved it so much. This guy and this girl meet at 2 different funerals were going on at the funeral home, and she was sitting under a tree crying, and he comes up to her, and basically he's a lot older, so he gives her advice, gives her a handkerchief, and they move on with their lives. Well, this guy, his dad had passed away, and they were super loaded, like super rich, and his dad had passed away. He has a stepmother and a half brother, and his stepmother and him didn't get along, so she basically kicked him out, and he went to a homeless shelter. And it turns out this girl's dad, her mom passed away from suicide. This girl's dad had been in that homeless shelter before, and he decided that it would be good for her to volunteer. So she volunteers at the same homeless shelter, and they get to know each other, and you know, there's feelings flying all around, except they don't act on them until she's 18. Well, when she's 18, something traumatic happens to her. She ends up in the homeless shelter with him. They get together finally. They get into a big fight, and then something even more traumatic happens, and then he swore to himself that he would become as successful, if not even more successful than his father. And he ends up building a company around her, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. And I'm also gonna put in, she comes back dating his half-brother. I'm just telling y'all, pick it up right now. I definitely recommend. You got a 5 stars out of me. Bravo. I probably will continue. This was like the 5th book in a series, but it was like a standalone series, you know? So I might continue reading the series, because the way the author wrote this book was chef's kiss. Like, I absolutely love this book. It made me cry twice when the traumatic event happened and at the end of the book. So if you want an emotional roller coaster book, this one's for you. And yeah. The next book I have is Twisted Love by Anna Hong. It's the Twisted Book 1 series. I absolutely enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. I would have given it 4 stars, but the end, oh my gosh, the end was chef kiss, because she didn't she's like, I hate when a book has like such a small ending. They just like, you know, fast-paced ending. This one was slow and sweet, and yeah, this is a brother's best friend romance, and there are 2 characters. The main character's brother goes off to South America or something like that, because it would look good on like with his college or whatever. He's already in college. He just went and volunteered down there because he wants to be a doctor, but he asked his best friend to make sure she's okay because she has this crazy ex or whatever. Anyways, she has trauma, he has trauma, they work together. Well, he works with her through her trauma, and he was like a robot, and she was trying to get a rise out of him basically, and like, it was, I don't know, she was trying to get him to show emotion, and I guess they ended up falling in love that way, which is sweet. The plot twist, however, I seen coming, but what I didn't see coming was betrayal. Honestly, the betrayal in it is just crazy to me. I will continue the series. I already have book 2 on my shelf. Shout out to the hubby for getting me like 9-10 books for Christmas. But at the end, he had to work really hard, and I just thought that was great, so I gave it 5 stars. The romance in it was really good, and yeah. So that was all the books I read in the month of December. So I'm going to tell you my goals for 2023. I am going to try to read at least 50 books, if not more. I'm going to read 1 nonfiction book a month, and yeah, those are my reading goals. What are yours? Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in my next video.